So today's Monday, bro. You had a game yesterday. How's the body feeling?
Uh,
Just like you
feel
played a football game?
yeah, that was a pretty physical game. So I mean, pretty sore, but yeah, feel like I played a football game.
Well, according to Harbaugh, you could have played another one right afterwards, right?
Apparently so. Yeah, yeah. I think it may have been possible, but I don't know about that.
I love it, man. So I got to ask you, bro, you offense or defense, what one's more fun now? You're getting questions about this every single day now.
I don't know, man. This is like such a cheesy generic answer, but I mean, football is all around is fun.
I
I mean,
love it.
don't forget special teams too. Trying to
Yeah.
go out there block kicks and stuff. It's just crazy seeing both sides of the ball, and like just how fast like some other defensive guys around the league move, and
Yeah.
trying to be on the flip side of it, trying to defend against them. It's just that's like, is that what I look like? Is that what I feel like trying to block? Being blocked kind of thing. So it's just crazy. Honestly, it's also so new.
So
So so
I didn't
early.
even think about I didn't even think about that. So I mean, is the offensive side of the ball making you better at defense then?
I think it's being a defensive player for so long is making me a better offensive player. Actually,
Oh, I
just by
like it.
being where to, if I'm trying to block this guy, like I have a good idea of where his leverage is and like how he's trying to defeat me. Because if I was in his position, I would gotta have a pretty good idea of what I would try and do. So I think it's actually kind of reversed. Being a defense player is helping me be an offense player.
I love it, bro. What so today, man, just kind of I'd even got just some crazy stuff going on here too, and I always just love picking your brain. So just like I mean, thanks for coming on and trying to just kind of
But
bullshit with you, man. But like
yeah,
Homedale, the Boise State, to the Chargers, I mean, how you like in LA? I mean, LA is about as completely different as Homedale and Boise as you could possibly get.
yeah. I mean, last year, my rookie year, we were down in OC, so it wasn't like really LA. Obviously, our stadium's in Inglewood, and we played up here, but we were down training throughout the week in else or in Costa Mesa, which is down there in Orange County. So that area is a lot more mellow, more like subdivisions kind of stuff. It wasn't really like the kind of chaos of like LA, but even now that we're up here with our brand new facility and everything, we're still really close to the beach. So we're like in Manhattan Beach, El Segundo, like a beach town vibe, and downtown LA is still a 20-minute drive, 15-minute drive. So we're still kind of in like the calm parts of LA, but
Right.
I mean, it's nice. The weather's immaculate. And it's just awesome.
I love it, bro. How's it playing for Harbaugh, man? I gotta ask you, what's different about playing for Harbaugh?
Yeah. First off, it's just it's awesome. I don't know. I feel like it's just one of those things where like a new guy comes in, and we're kind of just feeling how he's gonna be as a coach, and he's probably just feeling us out how we're gonna be as a team and players and how we're gonna spawn everything. But I just feel like, especially through these first 3 weeks, obviously we had the first two games and then we just lost a tough one yesterday. But I feel like there's just kind of this unspoken like sense of like bought in to what he's doing, right? Like there's this unspoken belief in what he's preaching, what he's teaching, what he's instilling in us, obviously throughout training camp and OTAs and all that kind of stuff. But I just think the guys obviously are rallying around each other. We're trusting the training that we've done through OTAs. We're trusting the game plan, all that kind of stuff. And I think that's just what makes us like a successful team, really. I mean, if you just like have that belief and have that buy-in, because I've been on teams where people just don't really like buy into
Right.
what it's more of like a political thing at that point,
Yeah.
and that's just it's just like it's just like a cancer that spreads, and it's just terrible for a team. But I mean, the front office and like the upstairs have done a great job bringing in like all these great coaches, all these great players, and we've built, um, you know, a solid team so far. Obviously, it's only 3 weeks into the season, but obviously we can see kind of where we are.
I think about it as being a coach and being a leader. Like I wanted to ask you about it. Like how did it change? Because it's still new. You know what I mean? When we were working with you this summer, you got to see him a little bit and then come back, and then you got to work with Herbert a little bit and then come back. But it was like, what changed? Was like, his past, it just created validity, or was it like his presence, his actions? Like what obviously you guys are being held to a higher standard now. You know what I mean? Like the roster's not completely different, you know what I mean? But the expectations are high, everything's here. What changes? Like how do you, if I say I'm coming to do that with CFI or one of my teams here, you know what I mean? How do I come and bring a presence like that? Obviously Harbaugh's on another level, but like what did it for, especially you guys, the best athletes in the world. So what were you guys, what changed with him? I know that's
I
a weird
mean,
question.
yeah, no, I mean, what changed? I mean, I just he came in, and the thing about Coach Harbaugh is he's unapologetically himself, and
I like that.
and
Genuine.
he and he's been at every level. He's had success at every level, and he's done it the same way at every level. So when he came here, it was just like, okay, like we're gonna like kind of start from scratch, my same process, my same routine, my same belief, and he's gonna kind of start from scratch, like he's baking a new recipe or something, or like the same old recipe, just it's another time. It's just like,
Yeah.
so he just came in and and just, this is how we're going to do things, boom, 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 boom. And obviously there's adjustments here, there, talking with some of the leaders on the team and stuff. But for the most part, I mean, like, this is like the Harbaugh way. And throughout training camp, we kind of just saw that, and we just kind of kept rolling and rolling, and putting in work and work. And like, this team isn't afraid to work. We definitely like it. And, I think that's just kind of how it all unfolded. I mean, Harbaugh knows how to, be successful, and he's obviously proven it at multiple levels, and he's going to do it the way that he knows how to, and that is proven. So I think that's kind of how that happened.
I love it. Right now, bro, my CVI, my Yotes, my boys, you know what I mean? They we lost 2 in a row. Games we should have won. Bad execution. We were, third, fourth team in the country to start the year. Killed the first 2 teams we played. They weren't very good, but then just didn't look like it was our first 2 road games, and it's been stressing me out, man. And I'm like, I got him tonight. You know what I mean? What have you ever been in a spot like that where you have a really good team and then you guys just aren't performing to where you're supposed to be at? And what do I say to him tonight? What would Harbaugh say to him tonight?
I mean,
Dude, it's the boys, you've worked out with half of them. It's stressing me out.
yeah, I mean, it's obviously it's a different perspective from you, because you are the strength and conditioning coach, right? Like, you're not teaching them techniques on the field. You're not coaching them. You're not teaching them plays. Like, you have a separate like, into like, not identity, but a separate crucial part of this puzzle, right? Like, you are responsible for getting them ready to play, making sure they're peak and in their peak physical shape, performance. They feel strong, they feel healthy, all that kind of stuff. And that's the coach's
Yeah.
job to get mentally ready to play with that technique, all practicing every day. Obviously the game plan, all that stuff. So, but I always feel like no matter what, a strength coach can always bring you back down to like the simple realities of how things work. Like, okay, like we come in Sunday, like we just played Sunday, today's off day, like we'll come in tomorrow and we'll come in lift. I guarantee you, like, our strength coach is going to be like, hey, that was a physical ass game. You fought your ass off. We lost. So what? Like, move on. It happened. Flush it. Learn from it.
Right.
Move on. Suck it up. Like, I don't want to see no pouting and moping around. Like, we got work to do, because we had another opportunity in a couple of days. And there's 17 of these opportunities, and we only get judged on 17 of them out of 365 days a year, right?
Right.
So it's like we gotta like,
Have you ever lost your confidence like in yourself? Like these guys,
oh man,
this
it's
is the best team. I think this team, like I thought we were, I mean, last year we were a game away from the national championship. I still think this team's that good, but I just feel like they're almost like, not like they don't have any confidence, but they don't have like the swag they had at the beginning. And like we got popped in the mouth, man. And I'm trying to respond. Have you ever like lost your confidence and had to figure out how to get that back?
yeah. I mean, confidence is on an individual level. It definitely is a big part of that individual's success, obviously, and I feel like that comes from the preparation you put out through the week. In practice, the studying of your opponent, and that just builds confidence. So when you go out there on the field, you're like, okay, like I know what I'm doing, and you can just play fast. Like there's no hesitation. There's no, you're just going. You see it, you
Right.
trick it, you're playing ball. And that's as far as the team. Like, I mean, that culture, that like that shit's contagious. As far as like that winning, that mojo, that can take you a long ways. And obviously, like when you get a tough loss, that can kind of ding it for sure. But I mean, I feel like a team is always going to fall back on the level of like the standard and the culture that was set way
Right.
before the season even started, right? And I feel like as far as the individual, you're never going to rise to the level of the moment.
Right.
Like people are always like, oh, like it's game day, boom, I'm juiced, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Like you're never going to rise to that moment. Like you're actually going to fall to the level of your training, what you prepared your body and mind to do. So it's quite the opposite. But I mean, it's definitely, I mean, a shorter season in college. So those games mean a lot more as far as maybe where I'm at, where there's 17 of them of these things, and you just got to you just got to really just get to the playoffs, and anything can happen. So
Yeah.
it's just a different thing. But I mean, yeah, I mean, throughout college, I mean, my like junior year, I mean, that was a tough year as far as the culture of Boise State. I mean, we were what, like 2-3 at one point or something. It was, I mean, it was bad ball. I mean, it was tough, and that's just obviously for Boise State being 2-3. That's like unheard of as far
Unheard of.
as
Yeah.
heard of. So I mean, players were like, sitting around like, well, what the heck's going on? Coaches are amping it up even more, and it's just chaos, right? And then it comes into what I said earlier about the whole politics or everything. Like, are you really like, are the players buying in and believing to this coaching, this teaching, like all the coach speech, because at that point it gets like players often get harder to coach at that point because they get a little bit irritated. It's like because
Yep.
they're all trying their best. They're all trying their best, and it just doesn't at times seem good enough because it's obviously we're losing games and it's not up to the standard. So it's just like a compounding effect. This is tough, but yeah, confidence is a big thing.
Yeah. I got that talk tonight, and I was glad to talk with you before to try to you give me some big points right there I can work with. How about with you? Your journey, man. You went from Homedale. Give me a little feel about Homedale. Give me a little feel of why you chose Boise State, and then kind of what that draft process was like, bro. You supposedly golfed and bowled at Homedale, huh? At 330 pounds.
I've never been 330 in my
Oh, my
life.
bad, my bad.
Thank God. I mean, Homedale was not. I mean, obviously, I was Homedale. I showed up there just one day, and that's where my journey kind of began. And was a pretty normal high school experience. I mean, big bro was in college, so he was away, and it was kind of just me and with at Mike and Donna's house, with a new foster family and everything, and um, made friends, kind of started this new life, was playing sports. I like to be active, and all 4 years it was football, basketball, and golf. Those are my three sports, so it was good to be active um, and do that kind of stuff. Obviously, football was going to be a no-brainer because trying to follow in Big Bro's footsteps where he was playing U of I. Yeah. And then, started to get, a little bit taller, a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, kind of filling out, maturing, developing as an athlete. And then, kind of, I think those football camps that happened before your senior year, I think that's what really kind of put me on the radar as far as Boise State, some of these other Big Sky schools, Weber, Eastern, all of them. I went to the BSU camp and I was going against like Bishop Gorman guys. Obviously Bishop Gorman was like the number one team in the at that point they were like the number one team in the country, and I was going up against this like left tackle who had like 25 offers, committed to Michigan State, who actually fast forward transferred to Fresno, and we played each other like 2 years in a row. So it was
that's
like
cool.
Kind of a funny full circle moment. Yeah, we went against each other in this high school camp, and I must have been doing good. It's like pass rush or whatever, and like some scouts or whatever for BSU came up to me like, "How many offers you got?" And I'm like, "None." Like, I don't have anything. I'm the a junior in high school at Homedale, like just playing some football, and that's kind of where it all started. Then one offer turned into two, turned three, and kind of just it's usually what happens once you get one. And
did you get a offer, or were you a walk on at Boise State?
I was they were gonna offer me a preferred walk on, and then I think that's what they really wanted to do. But then they ended up offering me a scholarship. They wanted to gray shirt me. They wanted to gray shirt me, which means I would have taken that first August to December semester off. That would have been just kind of like, I would have had like a job, but I would have been like training, like preparing myself to come in January with the new team in the new year, and then start from there. But then they ended up bringing me normally in May and June with the, it was a 2018 class, and then but yeah, I mean, I had the Big Sky offers, and I was always waiting for BSU. Obviously, growing up here, watching Boise State, my whole life. Had the 07 Fiesta Bowl on a disc. I mean, I would watch that thing like twice a month or something. It was stupid, but BSU was like a no brainer. I mean, dream come true for sure. And then, obviously, I got the scholarship and was going gray shirt. Came in early, and then from there it was 2 years of really trying to I was like a long-term project. Like I wasn't a player that could kind of just come in and impact immediately. So I needed to develop. I needed to get bigger, stronger. I needed to learn like the speed of the game as far as college football, especially at Boise State. Coming from Homedale, you're playing guys that are like 5'5". Like, yes, it's just it was just a whole nother world and a whole nother game. So it took about 2 years for me to really develop and come into my kind of my own. My redshirt sophomore year, I was obviously behind a guy very well, David, and
Big Moa,
and I learned a lot from him and the other kind of upperclassmen of that class. And then that next year, I was able to start as a redshirt sophomore, which would have been my third year. And then from there, it was just 3 years of I started for 3 years and had a breakout year my junior year, which was kind of what put me not on the map, but like kind of had, brought some attention my way. And, had like 7 sacks that year, a handful of TFLs, whatever, many tackles. And it was a good year. And then that senior year, obviously I had a lot of attention drawn to me as far as scheming, but I still had a good year. Didn't have as much production statistically, but I thought, obviously I was a captain, and I thought I impacted the team in more ways than just stats. So obviously I left it all out there my senior year, and then declared for the draft because I felt like it was the right time, and I felt like I had done enough and I was in a good spot. I didn't think I needed to come back for like a COVID year or anything like that, and started that. So, and then I just started that draft process, which was I think really the separator as far as what got me from my senior year of Boise State to where I am now, sitting in, in this on this couch. I mean, I was with you for a good chunk of that time, and I often tell people who ask me like, how'd you do it or whatever, I was like, I literally did everything I could in my power to give myself the best chance I had to make it, quote unquote, or whatever, right? Like I went down to Texas to train a little bit. I mean, I ate right. I hydrated right. I did you name it. I did it and tried to execute it to the best of my ability, right? I did every rep. Like I did everything. So and then it came down to, obviously I came back and we grinded and we got even better. And then my day came because I didn't get a combine invite. So then the pro day came and
had a day.
And all that training led up to this one moment, and you have to, you gotta make the most of it, right? So like I just went out there and did my thing. The confidence was high, juice was flowing, felt good. I mean, I was literally the most athletic I've ever been in my whole life. I will never get back to that. But I had a good day, and then from there it was like, okay, then top 30 visits, going and meeting with teams, doing the medical side of it, because that's really what like the combine is to get all that medical information and stuff. And then from there, man, and at that point, the work is done, and you really just kind of just you gotta hope it was enough kind of thing. And LA liked me, and they drafted me in the 6th round, which is about where I was predicted. And yeah, and then had a solid rookie year. Played 12 out of 17 games, which is a lot for a rookie D lineman.
And your D line.
Yeah. And then obviously there's some rookies that come in and start right away and all that kind of stuff. But for the most part, rookies come in and are inactive, and like they're on the 53, but they don't dress. They try all that kind of stuff. But I mean, I was playing, impacting, contributing. And obviously this year had a good off season, and obviously the new coaching staff and everything, Harbaugh, we're always talking about. And then boom, now I'm playing every phase of the game.
You gotta run. I want to come back to your story, but you gotta run me through on how you got brought to fullback. I mean, you're always number one in accelerations on the GPS, where you're always bragging about your miles per hour. I know we're killing it. But why did they were like, hey, look at this big ass redhead over here, this Viking over here, have him come block for us, or what?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously it was, obviously I did a little bit of short yardage tight end in college. Obviously I caught 2 touchdowns.
You played 2 plays, got 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I caught 2 touchdowns. It wasn't just me. Like we had 2 other D linemen in this.
Oh, gotcha.
In this offensive package. So it was me and 2 other D linemen that was the other tight end on the other side, and then a fullback in the back. So we had 3 D linemen on the field on offense on this, and we ran that for 2 straight years. So there was a lot of reps there. So and obviously I always played offense growing up. Blocking, it was just kind of came naturally and all that. But I mean, they saw that, and then in the preseason they kind of just threw me on the goal line to down block on as like that goal line tight end, just like I did in college, right? And then it kind of just slowly built up, and it was okay, like 2 reps here, okay, turned into like 4 reps the next preseason game, and then like that looked really good. Okay, let's try and expand your role. Then the third final game preseason game came. It's like, oh shit, here's like 8 reps. It's like these are even better. And then now it's like, well, what can he do? Right, really? So then it's just, I feel like that's kind of how it played out. It wasn't like no one foresaw this happening. I mean, I'm always going to be willing to do anything to help the team win. And it's just been, it was just kind of this slow, like, it's just kind of how the cards fell. I mean, no one really, this wasn't like a planned thing, but it's definitely, it's been working. So we're kind of just rolling with it. And every single week, every single play, I learned something new, whether it's the same play I've ran for 10 times already that week. I mean, every play I'm learning something new. I mean, it's just a whole nother world on the offensive side of the ball, but yeah, crazy.
I mean, it goes back to what I was trying to bring up with your story at Boise State, man. And I've told you about it. The reason why I knew you'd always have success at in the NFL is because you just love to work. Like it didn't matter what it was. And I usually got you guys in the off season and the fellas, it was like everybody was always okay to lift, but like to run and do the conditioning and the typical shitty stuff, it was just like Scott's like, another rep. Let's go another one. Even in the summer, it didn't matter when it was. And the boys were like, damn it, Scott, what like I said, it almost made them feel like, uncomfortable. I mean, you never cared about what they thought. I mean, how was that just who you were? Did you learn that from something? I mean, if you look at a lot of those guys compared to where you're at now, I mean, people talk about it, but I mean, you outworked everyone. You know what I mean? Where did you get that from? And obviously now it's even showing at the highest level in the world.
Yeah.
You love to work. Even here, you hang out here for 3 hours a day, and then you're taking care of your body. You're doing other shit. You know what I mean? What was the difference?
I just think for me, I there was this, I don't know, I heard someone say it, I don't know if it was like some random TikTok I saw a long time ago or some podcast or whatever, but some of the most of the time, the most exceptional people in the world, the most successful people in the world, not all of them, but a lot of them have gone through hell and made it out on the other side. And obviously my story hasn't been the most ideal in how I've got here, but there's always been this fire burning inside me, this passion and desire to not let the hand I was dealt, determine my path and what my life was gonna look like. So I always knew I wanted more. I always knew I wanted to be great. I always knew I wanted to be the best. And it didn't. And I wasn't always like this. It came
How did you
somehow.
face that? How did you attack that, man? It's amazing what you have become. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. I think. I mean, like I said, it wasn't always like this. I wasn't like this in high school, and I wasn't like this in the early years of college. I think what it really was, I was still a young kid, even in my first freshman in college. I was still trying to figure things out. And I think it was when COVID happened and we all were sent away and it was all locked down. Like I had a lot of alone time and I had a lot of time to think of like what I wanted things to be. And like I knew that my time was coming as far as to be a star and this and that. And at this point, I watched my brother grow up and try and trace his, following his footsteps of being a pro or a college athlete, which I was at that point. And then it was like, okay, well, like now what? Like now what do I want to do? And like I knew like my time was coming and like I needed to be ready and to be prepared so that like when that season came, COVID or not, like I was ready. And I just started working. I started working, going to parks and working football techniques, going to high schools, whatever. And I was taking my roommates with me. We were all working, and it just created this habit. And I just became this whole new person with this whole new work ethic. And I showed back up, and like I was just a different person. I was a different. It was just such a blur, and like Coach D could testify this. Like I showed up and he was like, who is this person? Like, who is this Scott now? Like, this isn't like
Yeah.
the number 62 freshman. We were trying to do the right thing and go to class and whatever, right? Like academics mattered to me. Everything mattered. Obviously I was still a college kid and I would hang out and do fun things. I wasn't like a robot, but I mean, I had this desire and passion, this fire burning inside me that I wanted to be like, I wanted to be the guy. I wanted to be the man. I wanted to be the best. I wanted to achieve great things, not just because I wanted to do it for myself, just because I wanted more out of this life. I wanted to be able to take care of those around me. I wanted to make this last name that quickly started not being prevalent, very prevalent again. So
Love it.
um, for me, it was just this. I just took I don't know. It's weird for me to think about it because like I honestly just feel like I blinked and I just got to where I am. Like everything was just such a blur of how life has unfolded to this point. But yeah, man, I definitely just have this desire to be great, man, to inspire others, make my last name proud, and kind of represent for sure.
Well, it's been awesome to see, bro. I've seen you change through the years too, man. It's been cool to see. Even like this last year, man, it's been the way your body physically changed was awesome. Coach Herbert, yeah, I think you put another fire in your ass, man. Being able to sit down with him that time with you and learn from him.
Yeah.
I mean, give me a little story on that guy. That guy's a crazy style, but I love him. He's a dog,
Yeah.
man. He's changed my whole programming. I mean, and
Yeah.
I sat down with him for an hour,
Yeah. He it's just something, it's just a different perspective as far as weight training that I've never been even exposed to. For me, it's always been like,
heaviest weight you can pick up.
Yeah, heavyweight, just getting as strong as you can. Basically, just powerlifting and then just running yourself into the ground and getting your lungs really conditioned. It was basically, that was like the method. Not to my own idea, but just from, past strength coaches and everything. And
don't put that on me. I didn't do that to you.
No.
Don't put that on me. I know I'm giving you smack.
Yeah. And then, we get a new staff and Coach Herbert comes in from Michigan and, we start doing these things where I'm like, I've never done this before, like working shoulder cuff muscles, training the heck out of, my adductors and and adduction and abduction and my hips and my hamstrings and my ankles stability and support and, the strength of my neck and all that stuff. And it was just like kind of just eye opening, just because not everything has to be like break your body down to where you can't even, like sit in the chair. But
right.
Because I think a lot of it is like at this point, the guys who I'm playing with and we're at this level already pretty much developed ish. Obviously there's always room for improvement, but for the most part, we are who we are. But there's always these things that are untapped, like how strong your shoulder girdle is, like doing a Turkish get up, like I was doing back in, when I was training with you, and like how strong like your back is. Like the back is like Coach Herbert says, the back is an untapped gold mine a lot of the time. Like everyone wants to do like bench press and all that stuff, but like you got like all this real estate on your back. It's like this huge chunk of real estate where there's all these muscles, and like a pec is really just like this small one little like half acre, he likes to say, and like the back is like 4.5 acres or something. But yeah, it's been awesome. It's definitely opened my eye a little bit. I definitely think it's help us as a team, and definitely
it's been
individuals.
Game changer. Even when I was working with you, everything with you was, like you said, as hard as you can. I usually have to bring you back like, Scott, we don't need to be miserable every day. And you're like, I could do more. I could do more. And then this year you finally like, KT, maybe we don't have to feel like shit every day, That was, so it was big time for me. And then even just learning from him and mixing in some more speed mechanics with him, it was cool. He, his energy and his intensity, man, is so fun to see. I wish I could be a fly on the wall during some of his sessions, man.
Yeah, no, I think that's what makes a strength coach, right? Like
right.
Write a program, like anyone can write a program and do this and that.
Don't matter.
And then like you're the most juice, you're the most locked in. Like you have that aura and sense about you where everyone else kind of taps into it and feeds off of it as far as in that iron jungle, right? I mean, you're all there to work, right? So it just wouldn't feel right if you were Coach Herbert or anyone came in and it was like, okay, guy, like moseying around, doesn't have that laser focus and intensity that every strength coach has. So
what about, man, you talked about Coach G for a little bit. How about the boys right now? They look good. The vibes are good. Coach G's the man. Give me a little. Coach G was your defense coordinator back then?
Coach D was my. Um, I mean, he was there the whole time I was there. Obviously, he was a GA 7 years ago, and then worked
Crazy.
with the head coach, which is a phenomenal story. But I was I came in and I had my very first year, my freshman year. I had a D-line coach. He left, and at that point, Coach D was the edge coach.
Oh,
So
okay.
coach like
He had to hang out with Jabril.
yeah, Jabril, Dimitri, all those kind of guys. And then so my redshirt freshman year, he moved to D-line. He had all the boys, Demo, me, Hatada, Louis, like just all the boys. Young Callahan. I mean, it was
Mike.
those were the days for sure. And then so he was my D-line coach for 2 years, and then got promoted to DC, and then we had Frank Miley for my last 2 years. So that was kind of my. But I mean, I've always been around Coach D, and he was my DC those last 2 years. But yeah, the boys are rolling. Boys are rolling good. They look good. I think Coach D was the no-brainer for this for the job as far as the head coach. I mean, I know there was a lot of other applicants and whatever, but kind of like how I said, when you have a new coach coming in, like there has to be like that buy-in and belief to like the program and like the culture, and like there was already that before he was even hired. Like the boys wanted Coach D. We saw, like the nation saw how those last, what was it, 2 or 3 games were of the season where he was the interim. I mean, we saw how they were playing, kind of like you could just see like they were just playing harder. I mean, they just wanted to win, not only for themselves, but for him. I mean, they kind of had like this they were rejuvenated. They had this spark,
Right.
And then obviously the season was over, won the championship.
He's the man, dude. I've never seen. I think they won their bowl game. I can't remember what it was, but
it was they played UCLA, and because I went to that bowl game, it was in SoFi.
Did we win?
No.
Oh, we got beat.
Yeah, played great first half, and then the second half was just terrible.
Gotcha.
So won the championship.
It's crazy to see these boys, the whole squad, want to run through a wall for him. Like you haven't heard about that, seen that since like Pete. You know what I mean? And I loved Horace and Ab too. You know what I mean? But it's just to see what they're doing with Coach D is insane.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, he is. Obviously, like the season was over, and then like there was like this demand. Players were like,
yeah,
I don't
it's
care.
Crazy.
Like Jeremiah, we want Coach D. Like
Washington State this week be a big one.
Yeah, so and then I heard like too, and like obviously I'm not. I mean, I still talk to a bunch of the guys and stuff, but obviously I heard they went to some drastic lengths to get him the head man job, or Coach D the head job. So that just speaks volumes to how much they wanted him already. But I'm not going to go into detail about what they did. But
yeah, I've heard some of the stories too. It's crazy.
Yeah. But no, they're rolling good. I mean, first week, game 1. I mean, they played good. Obviously, there's always first game is going to be stuff to clean up, and then that's 2 weeks ago against Oregon. Man, I thought they were going to pull it off. I mean,
couple random plays.
What a game!
Yeah,
I mean, that really. I mean, I was watching that, and I was in. I was in, like, we were traveling to Carolina, and I was just stayed for a week. Jeez. And like I was watching the game, and like they were just hanging in there, like, and it was just like one of those heavyweight fights, just body blows after body blows, man. But to lose on a walk-off field goal is tough, especially when
top 10 team, that environment.
But I mean, it's really, I mean, you can kind of boil it down to really special teams, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You let up a punt return for a touchdown and a kickoff return for a touchdown. I mean, that's 14 points, right? you take those off, make them drive the field. Like they may
Who
score on
knows?
one. Yeah, they
Who
may
knows?
score
Yeah.
on one of those possessions, right? Or maybe it's a 3-and-out both
Field
times.
goal.
Yeah, so it's just you never know. So it's just like that really to let up two touchdowns like that and then still be in there. I mean, that's just like it's like wow, we really got we got ourselves a team here, and I obviously I don't think the boys were surprised on how they played.
Yeah.
I don't think Coach D was surprised on how they played. I think that's just really that's just gonna obviously we didn't get it done, but I mean I think that's just kind of still gave them that confidence and to keep their head strong throughout this rest of the season. So I'm excited. I watch it every single game. Just as long as I'm not busy or I got things going on. But yeah, I'm
I love
excited.
it. Who do you guys got this week?
Chiefs.
Chiefs, big one. Home?
Yeah, Chiefs at home.
Love it. What
Yeah.
do you get a bye? When's your bye?
The week after, week
Are
5.
you coming home at all?
I don't know what our bye week schedule looks like. Last year I had like 4 days off or something. A bunch of time off. Obviously that was last year's staff and they were a little bit more, I'm trying to think of like not lenient, but like hey, like time off, take care of your
Yeah.
bodies, with your family. Kind of deal, but I don't know what it's gonna look like. I don't know what that plan is. So
Well, love it, man. If you come to town, you gotta hit me up. Keep balling, brother.
absolutely,
Tell Coach Herbert I said what up. I'm gonna come to that weight room one of these days. All right.
yeah, man, you gotta come
Appreciate.
out. Damn.
I know I need to. It's football with us too. The Yodi boys, our high school teams are killing it. Most of them got a couple teams trying to figure some shit out with me and your boy Keith.
Yeah, the good thing
But
is we play until January. So
yeah, no, it'll be good, man. I appreciate. I know how busy it is in season, man, for you to do this on a Monday after the game, man. Means a lot. Thanks for everything, bro.
hey, no problem, man. Anytime, and appreciate everything you've done for me, and love you, man.
You too, bro. Keep killing it. Later, Scott.